Hello, welcome to Grandma Reads. Grandma reads because reading energizes and develops soul. I will be reading Ebenezer's Journal. Ebenezer's Journal by Jessie A. Terry. Hello, my name is Ebenezer. I'm a kid just like you, except that I'm a monster and I live in Monstropia. Let me tell you a little bit about my town. Monstropia is a colorful, wonderful place. The town is vibrant. It is filled with cheerful, happy monsters. For the most part, it is a great place to raise a monster family. At the end of Fangtooth Street is my school. It is a dark, shadowy place, and it seems the sun does not shine there. Even the birds don't sing. I go to Dr. Lime's school for normal monsters. It's not special monsters and exciting monsters, just normal monsters. The building is very old. Rusty nails stick out of the roof, and the floors creak when you walk on them. Even the walls are a dull color, all brown, just like a mud puddle. The craziest thing about my school is probably the really enormous crack in front of the school, right next to one of the front windows. Dr. Lime's School for Normal Monsters started a few years ago. The school has 3 teachers, 1 janitor, and 1 bus driver. Mr. Stan drives our bus. He is very quiet and never uses his whistle. In the afternoon, Mr. Stan teaches us about safety. The bus is a surprising baby blue with green horns on top. It has a very loud horn and bright yellow lights. The wheels are black and the pipes blow out thick black smoke. Every day, Mr. Stan picks up all the monster children and takes us to school. We are not allowed to laugh, sing, or have any fun on the school bus. Mr. Stan says it's because normal monsters don't believe in having any kind of fun. Dr. Lime is our gloomy school principal. I never see him smile, and he stays in his office most of the day. The window of Dr. Lime's office is sealed shut, so no one can see in. Dr. Lime does not care to see out. Most principals greet their students in the morning, but he hides away. Dr. Lime seldom speaks. His assistant is Miss Zoe, who offers art classes after school. Dr. Lime says that art is a waste of time. But Miss Zoe doesn't worry about that much and teaches all kinds of neat art. Miss Zoe is a beautiful monster. She is purplish pink with a long curly tail. She always smiles and tells me that I am special. My teacher is Mr. J. Stein, who says he is the smartest teacher in all Monstropia. I think he's rather boring, so much that sometimes I get sleepy in his class. Mr. J. Stein wears a big green and red bow tie every day. His classes are not fun. Mr. Stein told me that there is nothing good about using your imagination. and school should never be fun. Mr. Lincoln is our janitor and handyman. His features are wonderful. Mr. Lincoln is red and orange and yellow. His smile stretches across his face. A couple of days ago, I asked Mr. Lincoln why he didn't teach our classes. He replied, "Ebenezer, I just want to be the best me that I can be." I said, "Mr. Lincoln, what does that mean?" "I may not be your teacher, I am your janitor, but I can be the best janitor in all Monstropia. I can be the best me that I can be. I can teach you things without being in front of the class." His statement prepared me for something big. All the other kids at school are very talented. Dip and Dot are twins. Their mom calls them the Lollipop Twins. Dip is very good at math problems and helps everyone with math homework. Her sister Dot decorates lovely cakes. The bookworm monster of our school is none other than Clue. Clue has read every book in the school library. Some books he's read twice. Tinsel sings and writes music. She has the sweetest voice, nicer than the best birds in the trees. Tinsel is green and has music notes on her belly. At school, Tinsel sings the morning song, Normal Monsters, during start of day announcements. Antwine and Asteroid are brother and sister. Antwine is a fashion designer, though he seldom lets anyone see his incredible designs. He carries his design book and a small box of colored pencils with him wherever he goes. Antwine's biggest dream is to be featured in Monster Living. It's the magazine for fashionable monsters everywhere. Asteroid is the youngest monster at school. She's also the fastest flying monster in all Monstropia. Asteroid always wears a pink rose flower crown. Her wings are shimmery and purple with roses on them. Asteroid usually hangs out with Patches and me. Patches is my best friend. He wears a dinosaur costume to school nearly every day. He knows all about every dinosaur in all the books. He says his name is Raptor and roars if you don't call him Raptor. I like to tease him and call him Patches. All my friends are amazing, but there is a problem. No one dares use their talents at school. It's like everyone keeps a big secret. I think being normal is boring. We all do creative things, but we can't share any of our ideas with each other. As I rode the bus home today, I thought about this. The next day, Patches ran up behind me and roared. He tries to scare me every morning. Today it worked. I jumped up and smiled before I knocked him over. Dip and Dot rolled their eyes and waited for the teacher. Mr. J. Stein came in the classroom, and as usual, he did not smile. He said, "Open your textbooks to page 6 and begin reading." Clue read quickly, And when he finished reading, he said, "Okay, I'm done. I am the speediest reading monster in the world." Mr. Stein was not amused and marked Clue's name under the detention list on the board. Clue laughed and said, "Yes, just more time to read." We all giggled, and Mr. Stein pointed to the boring black chalkboard. I looked around the room and noticed that the room was dusty and a very dull yellow. Mr. Stein told all the children that it was too hard to follow their dreams. If you have a big dream, there is no reason to chase it. I thought it was crazy. I had big dreams and wanted to chase them. My biggest dream is to be on television. I want to have my own talk show and interview monster citizens. I have already started practicing. Tinsel lets me borrow her microphone before announcements, and I ask her silly questions. "Why don't you like spiders? Are you afraid of bananas?" She always laughs at me, and then Mr. Stan tells us to stop being silly. School is a great place. My friends are so sweet, but the school needs imagination. I needed to know why. Then, after thinking hard for a while, I had an idea. I could interview friends and teachers and find out why the school was called for normal monsters only and not special monsters. Over the next few days, I went to school, played with my friends, and wrote down questions. I picked a couple monsters a day to ask a question. I had a chair to sit in, a small recorder, and a plastic microphone. First, I asked Dip and Dot, what would it be like if the sky was not blue and the sun did not shine? "Would that be boring?" Dip answered first. "Oh my goodness, that would be strange, and yes, very boring and dark." Dot nodded and said, "It would be boring to live in a world without color." I asked Clue and Patches the same question, and they both frowned. "That would be so boring." Antoine said, "I design fashion, and without color and light, what would I do?" His little sister Asteroid smiled. "I could not see very well without the sun." Miss Zoe said, "Ebenezer, that is a silly question. If the sky wasn't blue and the sun did not shine, it would be a dark place." I interviewed Miss Zoe and my friends, but it still did not make sense. Why was the school only for normal monsters? That afternoon, I went to Clue's house. The entire house was a library. I would need a ladder to reach the top shelf. As I climbed onto the couch, I asked Clue, "Why is the school only for normal monsters?" He looked puzzled and said, "Huh? What are you talking about?" "Dr. Lime's school for normal monsters. Did you not know?" "You read all the time, Clue, haha. How did you not know that?" He hit me with his wing and started laughing. "I guess you're right, Ebenezer, but the teachers say we should not have big dreams, so why should I care about the name of the school? I am a normal monster, so what?" He sat on his clawfoot chair and said nothing for a few moments. "Hey, Clue, have you ever seen Dr. Lime smile?" He shook his head. We played the X cube, and then I had to go home. I headed out the door and smiled at Clue. "Hey, you are not just a normal monster. You are a special friend. You are a special monster. Clue smiled and said, "Go home before I catch you." "Thank you, Ebenezer." I thought and thought, why is the school only for normal monsters? It was so bizarre. The next morning at school, Tinsel stood by the door waiting for me. "Hi, Ebenezer. There is someone here to see you." I looked to her right and saw Dr. Lime. He just stared at me. I smiled at him, but he did not smile back. "Mr. Ebenezer, I have noticed you asking the students many questions, and I am curious to know why." Miss Zoe watched with a look of excitement, and my friends watched in awe. "Sir, my dream is to have my own show. I imagine myself sitting in a big red chair with a microphone. Beside me sit 3 chairs for any guests I have, and then I ask them many questions." Dr. Stan did not seem amused. "Young monster, here at Dr. Lime's School for Normal Monsters, I do not allow imagining and big dreams. It just gives monsters a headache. When I was a younger monster, I got a degree. It means that I got a special rank for something I studied in college. I have what is called a doctorate degree, a very high rank in teaching. My big dream was to open a theater for monsters to come sing and act. It did not work. The building I had dreamed of buying was sold before I could purchase it. So I opened a smaller school instead. I worked very hard and saved for that theater, but it was sold and it broke my heart. That's when I decided to not have big dreams and just settle for a little school with boring, normal classes and boring, normal monsters. I smiled at Dr. Lime. "Sir, you opened a school, didn't you? You worked hard and did it." He half smiled at me. "Little monster, I thought I worked hard, but I am just a normal monster." Dr. Lime was upset, but I knew what to do. "Dr. Lime, my friends and I love your school. We have all learned many things from the teachers that work here. But there are so many wonderful talents that each monster has. Tinsel sings in the morning and even writes music. Dip helps everyone with math homework. Her sister Dot bakes the most delightful treats. Clue can tell you any story in the library. His memory is amazing. Raptor is a fantastic friend with a big imagination. He is a dinosaur expert and makes his dinosaur costumes. Asteroid is the fastest flyer in Monstropia. Antoine designs fabulous, colorful clothing, and even the teachers are talented. Miss Zoe is an artist, and Mr. Stan is the best bus driver. Even Mr. Einstein is a smart teacher. I bet he's even funny, but I'm not sure. Before I could finish describing all the wonderful things about the school, Dr. Lime spoke up. "Son, why are you telling me this?" I smiled and looked at Mr. Lincoln because a janitor once told me, "Be the best me that I can be." "Dr. Lime, you said that using your imagination is not allowed, But I ask you, what would it be like without any sun? It would be dark, wouldn't it? Dr. Lime, this school is not just for normal monsters. It is for monsters who are fun and creative and smart. Just like that, it was a miracle. Dr. Lime smiled. He said, "You are right, and I am so glad." The next few weeks were anything but normal. Asteroid won a 3K Monsterthon. Even her brother Antoine was featured in Monster Living. He was wearing a yellow and orange suit. Tinsel wrote a new song for school, and we discovered she could play the piano. Clue chose 20 new books for the library, and he already read them 3 times. Dip joined a math game show and won. As you can imagine, Dr. Lime had a change of heart. He started his own musical theater class after school. We were no longer Dr. Lime's school for normal monsters. The school was changed to Dr. Lime's school for special monsters. Mr. J. Stein still says he is the smartest monster in all Monstropia. He has had a change of heart too and is a very positive teacher. Mr. Stan has become the most fun monster in all Monstropia. He pops wheelies on the bus and does donuts after school. Just kidding. Mr. Stan smiles and high fives every one of us as we climb on the bus. Things have changed, but why end it here? Stay tuned for so much more. So remember, Grandma reads because reading energizes and develops soul. Remember 3, 2, 1. 3 things that you have learned as a result of hearing the book read. 2 things you will do as a result of hearing the book read. And 1 book you will read this week.